Hi, good morning. It's April the 2nd here in Castor, Alberta. It snowed last night again, so actually I'm starting to look very much forward to going to Toronto. Seems that weather on the prairies is not yet ready to make up its mind. Apparently, it's supposed to be raining today in Toronto quite a bit, but I'd rather deal with a little rain right at the moment than a lot more snow. I think the first thing that I'd like to say this morning is I'd like to give a great big thanks and a big Canadian hug to the voters in Wisconsin who proved once and for all that money can't buy you everything, Elon Musk. And it certainly didn't buy you this election. And perhaps it's a good lesson now that you're a few $1 million more shyer than where you were before. In the meantime, it's Canadian election still. The barbs are flying left, right, and center. Polyev has certainly got huge rallies. Uh, Whether that will translate into to larger vote share, I don't know. Mark Carney seems to be a little bit uncomfortable in his own skin, and I think they're guarding him very, very carefully. I think that Jagmeet Singh is doing his utmost best to hold on to what he's got. I think his ideas are certainly there, but I think most Canadians have made up their minds that it's going to be either soap brand A or soap brand B, and soap brand C is not going to show up in the running. I think that there's a lot of things that I would like to say. My daughter Sarah sent me a commercial that Polyev did, and I think the one thing that Polyev still got to do, and this is it was a worthwhile video, but he's got to drop the sleaze and the smear. He could have been a far more productive video on things like building the Energy East pipeline. That's been wanting to go for some time. You're right, Pierre. We should not be putting any oil through a pipeline through the United States. It should go straight across the country, straight to the Irving refinery in Quebec, and build a bigger refinery out there and a refinery out in British Columbia rather than Bellingham, Washington, to refine our product into more sellable products at the same time. But again, the sleaze, nobody wants it. Everybody's tired of it. You know, get on with it. The idea is that, yeah, we all know what the Trudeau government was like. I've never voted Liberal myself personally, but we all know what it was like. We all know what they were doing wrong. Here's the thing. You take a positive note and you run with it. You don't keep on smearing people. It doesn't pay. Jagmeet, kudos to you. You're keeping up the high road. You're not spending a lot of time. You're pointing out the problems. You're pointing out the solutions without going into this vast smear back and forth that the Liberals and the Conservatives are doing. As for you, Mr. Carney, I don't know what to tell you. You can't make up your mind, depending on which side of the country you're on, what you're going to say. You say one thing on one side of the country, one thing on the other side of the country. And I got to tell you right now, that doesn't work anymore because we have this thing, which is what I am using today, which is called the internet. And the media, no matter who it is, whether it be the National Post, who carries most of the conservative, and the Sun, that carry most of the conservative news, or it's going to be the Star and the Globe and Mail, which are more liberal orientated in the thing. They're going to pick it up and they're going to play it out. You can't do it anymore. I remember when Bob Rae was running against Mike Harris, and everybody thought the Liberals were going to win, and I laughed and I said, no, I said Mike Harris was running around with the Common Sense Revolution for 18 months, well ahead of the election campaign. He knew exactly what he was doing. And I said the Liberal Party keeps the leader of the Liberal Party keeps on saying a different thing in every different corner of the province, and you can't do that anymore. You can't be all things to all people. But what I will say, Mark Carney, is this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, Donald Trump is going to level us like there's no tomorrow. And the solution to our problem is not imposing tariffs to match his. Tariffs only hurt us. They make Canadians pay more. And I think you have to come up with a far better solution than what you're giving the Canadian people in terms of retaliatory penalties, because we pay the retaliatory penalties. Start thinking about adding on extra charges on oil and natural gas. I don't care if you piss off Danielle Smith. Danielle Smith has made herself the laughingstock of this country. And she's making herself the laughingstock of Alberta. So I'm not worried about what Danielle Smith has to say. Do what Ford did. He put on a 25% tax, or, well, surcharge, onto the Americans for Ontario hydropower. How long did that last? They started squealing like there was no tomorrow as soon as he put it on. Okay, so here's the thing. Mark, there's no point in negotiating with the Americans as long as Donald Trump and Elon Musk have control of the White House. Their opening stance will always be, we want you as the 51st state, we want Greenland, we want Panama. They are a fascist totalitarian state, and they're running it as so. There is the better way to put it is that you have an oligarchy holding complete power in the middle of a democratic state. And they don't care. I mean, it was just said in the news, reported in the news today, that Donald Trump's wealth since being elected president of the United States has doubled. He's profiting off of this. So there's no point in negotiating with them anymore. There's no point in playing tit for tat. I'll tell you one thing. I saw a picture today of a plant starting to move its equipment south of the border. That you have to stop, because all that equipment was bought with grants and tax incentives from that the Canadian people paid for. And that's where it's got to stop. And there should be no plants bringing out their equipment and sending it south to retool in the United States. Those days are over. This is gloves off time. And there's no way that it should be happening. This is gloves off time. We're elbows up, people. Congratulations, Wisconsin. You proved to me that, wow, things may be looking up in the States after all. Everybody have a good day. I'm in Toronto starting on Tuesday. We'll be coming to you live from Toronto. We'll be doing some live casting. We'll be doing some other casting on TikTok, Facebook. We're going to try and get enough members to subscribe to us on YouTube so that we can start getting some live videos in on YouTube. So if you like hearing what you're hearing, or you want to come and tour the city of Toronto and some of the small businesses and farms and what have you in Toronto and around Canada, please like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a follow on TikTok and give us a follow on Facebook. We'll be glad to have you. You take care and have a good day. Bye now.